to tell you, every time my next guest is back, I always learn a lot. We're talking with Kenneth Hiller this morning through the law offices of Kenneth Hiller, and we've talked about disability claims and robocalls and Social Security hearings, which would frighten me. So when you go to a hearing, your case finally comes up. Usually it's local.
Usually, however, Social Security is pushing for video hearings, which I usually oppose. The advantage is you get the hearing quicker, but there's a higher denial rate. I mean, the judge never really meets you.
Right.
And so we recommend that our clients generally oppose that. We'd rather have a local hearing, in-person hearing with a judge.
Do you have a choice, or do they say it's this way or no way?
You have a right to an actual live hearing.
That would seem to me that I would want them to see me, you know?
Right, and you know, you're in the hearing, the judge is in the hearing, can observe the person, maybe in pain, and then when the hearing's over, they don't just turn off the television, you know, and the person doesn't exist anymore.
Right. If you have a video hearing, is the judge local or not necessarily?
No, they're usually in Falls Church, Virginia.
Oh, wow.
So they don't even know the you know, Western New York or anything about it. So we really recommend that people opt for a live hearing.
Yeah, it would be much easier, I would think, for them to say no.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
we don't want that.
Right.
All right, to me it would be a little bit scary. Anything interesting ever happen at hearings?
Well, I had a case, when you go to a hearing, usually there is a vocational expert, an expert on jobs. And the judge will ask, essentially, this job expert, are there any jobs that the person can do? And I had a hearing recently, and the judge asked the job expert, are there any jobs? And my client, who has some mental impairments, like almost jumped out of his seat and said, park ranger. I always wanted to be a park ranger. So I kind of kicked him under the table.
Yeah.
The judge just kind of smirked. The person could not be a park ranger, but it was a unique experience for my client to say he could do a job.
Wow, so he just thought, I'll tell you what I want to be.
Right, exactly, yeah.
See, so funny things do happen in court, right?
But oftentimes it's very adversarial in general.
Yes, I would think very scary, very tense.
These job experts are often hired guns by the judge to try to deny your case. They'll come up with jobs you've never heard of, jobs that they'll say that people can do which are very unrealistic, and they rely on Department of Labor data. And then if you're without a lawyer, you have to cross-examine this expert. On job.
You would never know that's coming.
Right.
That would come out of left field.
Right.
Wow. But at least if you're on their side, you know what's coming and you're ready to do that.
Right. I mean, we research these Department of Labor statistics and we question them about the validity of their testimony. And we are oftentimes able to knock them off their testimony where maybe they'll concede that, well, I guess you're right, he couldn't do that job.
Right.
And that's our job at a hearing, to try to cross-examine this job expert.
So you have people who don't retain an attorney for your Social Security case going to a hearing and not even knowing that that's going to happen. Right.
They're just totally blindsided. And I feel bad for somebody who's in that. I don't even know how they can possibly function.
And then put that on TV, which everybody hates being on, you know, and that makes it even worse. You can really come off looking bad.
Right, right. And the vocational expert is usually by telephone.
Oh, boy.
So it's just... That's
an interesting job.
Right.
Vocational expert.
Yes.
Never heard of that one before.
Yes, yes. They do hearing after hearing after hearing. They are probably the highest skilled of an attorney at a Social Security case is cross-examining these experts. It's on the spot. You don't know what jobs they're going to list. And our job is to cross-examine them. And we go to seminars on the data that they use and how to cross-examine them. I feel bad for an individual who has no training in this at all, trying to do that on their own.
No wonder everybody gets denied the first time out, especially if you don't have an attorney. Well, that's very interesting. So this person is going to look at your client's limitations and say, well, you can still do this, this, and this.
Right, right.
Well, that's crazy. You know, I mean, especially like you say, if you don't know you're from Western New York and you tell the guy, well, you can still, you know, work with a job like on a deep sea derrick. Great. You know, we don't have that here.
Right. I had sometimes the jobs they come up with are amazing.
Amazing.
You know, like silver wrapper.
Oh.
I said, what's a silver wrapper? And she goes, it's somebody who wraps silverware with napkins. I said, where are jobs where somebody just does that?
Amazing. All right.
So
you want to know more? the offices of Kenneth Hiller. He's going to make sure you don't have that problem because he's going to represent you. Go ahead, call for a free consultation. It's so important. Or simply log on to kennethhiller.com.